G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. It's Monday afternoon actually, so it's a late start for me. This is my first 5am Club for the day, and I'm on the freeway here. I've got a driver. I've got Paula driving me, and we decided to go to Barrel for lunch today. So probably got about another half an hour to go. So I've got a book summary here entitled Broadcasting Happiness by Michelle Gielan. And I think I've mentioned a couple of times that over the journey of Jim's 5am clubs, a lot of the topics, a lot of the books have the word happiness in the title, and it seems to be something that each and every person is interested in finding out just a little bit more about. So what is this book all about? Broadcasting Happiness. The author kicks off with an observation which will probably help us get on the road and understand a little bit better what this is all about. And there's a lot of smoke on the road here in front of us. Somebody's hit their brakes. It's a cement truck or a truck. By the looks of it, their brakes have locked, and he's halfway on the road. Get inside lane here. Oh, I can smell the rubber. Anyway, that truck was actually broadcasting. It wasn't broadcasting happiness though. So the author makes an observation that we all broadcast ourselves to others. So the big question that we need to think about and assess is, what are we actually broadcasting? So the first formal point to come out of this book here is that sharing happiness is more about how you share information, and it has the power to improve not only your health, but the health of those around us. So this whole concept of broadcasting is pretty basic when you sit and think about it, because as humans, we've been broadcasting since the dawn of man. And what do I mean by broadcasting? Now, if you just look back over history, mankind have left their mark, and they've tried to pass on the wisdom, their observations to future generations. And broadcasting has come in the form of things as early as cave writings, just a hand on a wall, or a picture of a bison. All of that was an attempt to broadcast. We've broadcast, I guess the ancient Greeks have a huge history of broadcasting, so much so that it's considered to be the cradle of civilization. Broadcasting in terms of architecture, in the aesthetics, beauty, sculpture, art, theatre, history, just capturing knowledge, capturing wisdom, and passing it on through the generations is a form of broadcasting. So this whole broadcasting thing is an entry point into the power of encouraging stories. So this broadcasting message from this author is basically reminding us that one of our roles is to pass on the power of encouraging stories, because through the positivity of the storytelling also comes a passing on of hope, of future enterprise, and of course things that make us both physically and mentally better off. The author then goes on to talk about the practical aspects of broadcasting, because you can either be a positive broadcaster or a negative broadcaster. So a positive broadcaster is somebody who will be uplifting, who will come into a social circle or come into a group, come into a family and lift the spirits of all of those around them. And of course we've got the negative broadcasters who basically take away the energy, who are a drain on the look and feel and the energy levels within a family. And we're surrounded by many negative broadcasters. The media. You watch the news, you read the newspapers, you watch and follow social media, and what you'll see is that's a platform for broadcasting. But what you'll find is that most of the broadcasting that appears on those platforms is negative broadcasting that promotes fear, uncertainty and doubt. But the author here keeps on reminding us of the importance of being a positive broadcaster, and from a practical perspective they mention here that you will do better in exams, at work, in your relationships by broadcasting positive words and stories, just by being a positive influence within those environments. There's no doubt that we're all different, but all of these differences, and especially in a work environment or a family environment, everybody's different. But we need to take into consideration these differences, and one of the roles of leaders, of managers, is to ensure that they're able to uplift and be the magic glue that brings together the different interests, the different parties, to organise these different people, these different personality types, so that they can work together and be productive, and to try and lift the performance of each person, because the author then goes on to talk to us about a technique called priming. And priming is a powerful sort of tool that can be used by parents, by leaders, by people in relationships. Sorry about that. Where we use uplifting stories and good experiences to enable the people around us to cooperate. I guess the important thing that I've learned, and we've all learned over our lives, is you can't force anybody to do anything by being negative. So the author here talks about learning how to incorporate the priming technique into your inventory of skills, where you can pre-prepare people to work together, to be positive, and to basically bounce off each other, as opposed to beating up each other. We can also use this technique for ourselves. The author here talks about the importance of learning how to prime yourself, and an example of that is where we psych ourselves up. When you need to do something, you're under pressure and you need to perform, basically what we're doing is we're priming ourselves. Some people negatively prime themselves and talk themselves out of doing what they need to do. But the author here once again reminds us that you can positively prime yourself and get yourself to cooperate with yourself. So that's a massive lesson for each and every one of us. And let me go on to the third point now. So this is more of a summary to finish off this vlog today. And the author basically tells us what we already know. And by the way, it's starting to rain here, so the afternoon is going to be a moist one. But the author tells us that nobody, absolutely nobody, escapes hard times. But the important thing is that given that we know that we're all going to go through good and bad times, and generally we have more bad times than good times, that approaching them in the right way can make it easier to get through them. So in other words, having the right attitude, priming yourself, and just understanding that these things are going to happen. We're all going to get a turn at grief. We're all going to get a turn at challenges, and we just need to have the right attitude and be ready to take them on and not to be surprised. Because bad things, as the author here says, happen to all of us, and our natural tendency, and this is an interesting thing as well, our natural tendency is to hold on to them. We don't have to hold on to the bad things. They happen, we get on with it, we move on and release it, let it go. But the author says here that for some reason, in our wiring, in our makeup, in our DNA, we tend to hold on to the bad things and we carry them throughout our lives. And I guess this is my own thinking now, so it's not something that the author talks about, but I guess in our primal times, our primal instinct, it would have helped us in the past to hold on to the bad things because we lived in a dangerous environment. There was a saber-toothed tiger waiting down the road for us, or that we could have been attacked by the other village who would have killed us, taken away our wives and children. So holding on to things that were dangerous probably helped us survive in days gone by. But the reality is that in the world that we live in today, we don't have the same sort of risks in terms of being attacked, being killed, being eaten alive, unless you work for certain organisations, which I guess we've all worked for in the past. But the reality is that we no longer need to fear the things that we once had to fear. So the author here gives us the 4 C's that we need to consider when trying to get through our lives and learning how to broadcast and manage that broadcasting process. And the 4 C's are as follows. First C is capital, then the second one is context, compassion and commitment. So what are these 4 C's, you may ask? The first C is the social capital. We need to be aware that we are broadcasting our feelings, our attitudes, our good nature and our bad nature with our social capital, which is our body language, our eye contact, all of these things, all of these unsaid things. If you're not careful, you could be broadcasting something which makes other people feel uncomfortable. So be careful, I guess, is the point about your body language, your eye contact, so that you can connect with the people around you and make them feel comfortable and show them that you're listening. Put your phone down, hide your phone. I guess it's easier said than done, and I'm probably the worst at it. Paula just said something while she was driving. But a lot of these things, whilst they seem innocuous and not all that bad, can be really, really bad when it comes to communicating, and especially when you're broadcasting. So holding up your phone, looking at Facebook all the time broadcasts a negative message. So sorry, Paula, for me broadcasting that, and I'll try and do something about it. The next C that we need to talk about is context. So we all need to try and understand the big picture, and don't hold back on information. So each and every one of us have the responsibility to ask the questions of the people around us to get the full picture, the right picture, so that if we feel that somebody's broadcasting something, then ask them, is this what you mean? Is this what you intend? To get clarity and to get the whole picture, and not just a slither of the picture, which could lead to further pain and suffering, because most people are not going out of their ways to make our lives difficult. It's just our interpretation of what they're thinking, of what they're broadcasting, of what they're saying. You know, we could be the biggest problem in that whole conversation problem or that communication engagement by us not asking the right questions and not listening for the context and observing the social capital. The third one is commitment. We need to display and to be genuinely caring. And it's all beyond the shallow listening and the shallow like and commentary that we do with social media. You know, listen for meaning, as opposed to just being shallow and having a veneers sort of connection with people around you, including family, friends, work peers, and others. And the last one here is, I missed compassion. So compassion is, are you able to feel the pain or the feelings that the other people around you are feeling? You know, we need to be able to connect and to feel. Is the last C. And the final message to come out of this book summary is the importance of not getting caught up with the toxicity of the environment around you. If you're in an environment which is projecting and is broadcasting toxicity, which makes you feel unhappy, unhealthy, unwanted, unappreciated, then you need to be able to detox. You need to be able to break away, even momentarily, even by just switching off and taking some time to breathe it out and to have some time by yourself is also one of the tools that this author shows us or teaches us in terms of learning how to broadcast happiness and how to deal with the broadcasting of unhappiness. So that's about it. So that's the end of this book summary. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode. I've got 24 to go to reach my 1,000 vlogs in English, and I've got 4 days to do it. So Paula, you're going to be driving for quite a while, I think, for me to get through these today, because it's wet and I'm not sure if we've got an umbrella, and I do need to get through my 6 or 7 for the day. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation, a positive broadcast. And this has been the purpose of Jim's 5 a.m. Club, to try and empower, to try and be a broadcaster of material that can help us get through the morning, get through the day, get through our lives, be the wind beneath our wings, to enable us to live, learn and pass it on. And to, as I say, the positive affirmation, to be, I am happy, I'm alive, I feel great, and I wish that to each and every one of us. So thank you, and I look forward to coming to you from a different location, which may be in this passenger seat with Paula driving, or I could be outside depending on what this weather is going to do, and we'll chat again. Filaka from Jim and Paula on this wet Monday afternoon, and tatapume. Bye for now, and hopefully we can come to you from Barrel with some pleasant weather. Bye for now. Ciao.